All right, let's talk about a section of your exam that can literally be the difference between winning and losing, reading comprehension. But we're not going to guess or hope for the best. Nope. Today, we're building a rock-solid blueprint to nail down every single one of those marks. Let's get right into it. I want you to burn this number into your brain, 37. This isn't just some random number, it's the key. It's the key to unlocking a massive chunk of your final score, and it's an opportunity you really can't afford to let slip by. Yep, that's right. 37 marks are just sitting there waiting for you in this one section. And you want to know the best part? These aren't marks you have to struggle for. With the right game plan, they're totally within your reach. It's all about knowing how to play the game. And that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's one thing to know what's at stake, but you need a real plan of attack. And that is exactly what we are going to build together, right here, right now, step by step. First things first, you gotta know the battlefield. Before you can win, you have to understand exactly where these 37 marks are actually coming from. A little bit of intel goes a long, long way. Okay, so check this out. This table tells us everything. And what's really fascinating is how it's all weighted. Just look, the first two sections are worth a whopping 12 marks each. And get this, they come straight from your textbook. That's 24 marks right there, more than half the total, from stuff you should already know like the back of your hand. That's your home field advantage. Then you've got study skills for 8 marks and the unseen poem for 5. This tells you exactly where to put your energy. So, we know where the points are hidden. Now, let's identify our targets. You see, pretty much every question they can throw at you falls into one of 4 predictable types. Once you know how to spot them, you'll know exactly which tool to use. First up, we've got Type A, factual questions. Honestly, these are your bread and butter. They're just asking for info that's right there in the passage. You know, questions like, what challenges did Nick face? The answer is literally written down, waiting for you to pick it out. Easy points. Then we have Type B, analytical. Okay, this is where you need to put on your detective hat. The answer isn't going to be spelled out for you. You'll have to interpret something, like, what does the silence suggest? You need to find the clues in the text and use them to build your case. Type C is all about precision, true or false. They'll give you a list of statements, and you just have to pick out the ones that are actually correct based on the passage. But be careful. The trick here is they might change a tiny detail, like a name or a date, to try and catch you out. And last but not least, Type D, vocabulary. Now, this isn't just about knowing what a word means in the dictionary. It's about understanding how it's being used in that specific sentence. They might ask for a synonym, an antonym, whatever it is, context is absolutely everything. Okay, so now you can spot the different question types. The next step is to arm you with the perfect tactic to conquer each one. This is the real heart of our game plan. For those tricky analytical questions, you're going to use this foolproof 3-step method. It's like a recipe for a perfect answer. So, if the question is, was the character brave? You start with step 1, state your opinion. Yes, I think the character was very brave. Simple. Then, step 2, you prove it, because the text says he walked into the fire without hesitation. And finally, step 3, you wrap it up. This action shows his incredible courage and perseverance. Boom, full marks. Now, when you get to that study skills section with all the charts and graphs, don't freak out. Just use the quick scan strategy. First, just read the title, so you know what you're even looking at. Then, check the labels on the sides, the axes, to see what's being measured. Then, scan the questions for keywords like highest or lowest, and just use the data to hunt down the answer. It turns a confusing picture into a simple treasure map. The unseen poem can feel a little scary, right? But this 2-pass strategy makes it so much easier. The first time you read it, don't even try to understand everything. Seriously, just get a feel for the rhythm, the general mood. Then, on the second read, you can slow way down and really focus on what the words mean and the emotions behind them. So, on that second pass, here's what you're looking for. Keep an eye out for simple things like similes or metaphors. You know, when something is like something else, they're huge clues. And if you run into a word you don't know, don't get stuck. Just use the other words around it as clues to figure out what it probably means. All right. We've got our blueprint, we've got our strategies. Before we send you into battle, let's just run through a final checklist. These are the super simple do's and don'ts that separate a good score from a truly great one. Let's run through these real quick. On the do side, for those big 3-mark questions, always write in full sentences. and make sure your tenses match the question. On the don't side, never ever give one-word answers, and please don't just copy and paste big chunks of text. Always try to rephrase it in your own words. And the big one, never leave a true-false question blank. You've got a 50-50 shot. Okay, listen up. If you forget everything else I've said today, please remember this. This one tip is a complete and total game changer. Reading the questions first changes you from a passive reader into an active hunter. You're not just reading anymore. You are actively scanning for specific information. It saves so much time and makes you so much more accurate. So there is the complete blueprint to conquering those 37 marks. The knowledge is all yours now. The only question is, which one of these powerful strategies are you going to try out first? Go on, start practicing. It's time to turn those 37 marks from a source of stress into your biggest victory. Thanks for joining me for this breakdown, which was made possible by the great source material from Vinay Yadar Raju.